Hi everyone and welcome to another painting tutorial. So today I'm going to take you through how I use the AK Interactive Old and Weathered Wood Volume 2 set, which focuses on colder tones as opposed to Volume 1, which focuses on warmer tones. Now there are two colours from that set that I'll be excluding from this, and that is the Burnt Umber and British Khaki, the first two colours in the set. However, I will be using the other four, and of course in conjunction with a couple of Citadel paints. So as you can see, just doing a base coat of Dryad bark, and I'm going to want to leave this for about 15-20 minutes to dry. And once we've done that, move on to a Batten Black and Lamian medium, approximately a half-half mix, and also a little bit of water into the mix. And give this about 20 minutes to half an hour to dry, and then we'll move on to the AK Interactive colder tones. So, as this was the first time I'd used these colours, I decided just to use them in order as they were displayed in the box. However, I don't really see that it would matter too much if you were to use them in a different order to how they're displayed in the box set. So, with that being said though, I am starting with warm grey and just using a cheap detail brush. And as you can see, the consistency is pretty thin. So make sure you add a decent amount of water to that mix. And I'm not looking to go over the entirety of the wood, just picking out little grains of wood details as you can see there, making sure I leave plenty of room for the other colours. So with the warm grey now done, I'm going to move on to rock grey. And again, just picking out some of the Dryad bark that I've done previously and trying not to fill in too much of the space, as I do want to leave room for the last two colours as well. But as you can see, also following over some of the warm grey with the rock grey, I found that rock grey is slightly lighter than the warm grey. And now moving on to pale grey, just going to focus on a little bit more edge highlighting, also going over some of those previous colder tones as well. As pale grey, it is considerably lighter than the previous two colours, so it does make as for a nice highlight over the warm grey and rock grey. and also in small amounts just to sort of feature on its own over the dried bark. Now I will say, the main reason I didn't use the burnt umber and British khaki is that it wasn't really going to fit in with the style that I was going for my Cities of Sigmar army. And of course it isn't to say that those two colours wouldn't be useful, however for what I was working on I felt the dried bark with the black shade was going to work a lot better. Another interesting thing I've found with AK Interactive's products is, from what I understand to be a very popular brand of paints, it is very difficult to find tutorials for their products online, at least more recent ones. I mean, there are quite a few that are really old. So yeah, I definitely thought it would be ideal to feature some of their products. And I'll definitely look into a few more of their sets. They actually have a pastel set that looks really interesting. Of course, I'd imagine that set as well as this one can be used in conjunction with other paints. So yeah, I'll definitely look into that. I should mention as well, their paints are actually really affordable for what you get. So yeah, definitely worth checking out AK Interactive. I don't think for me personally I would ever make the full complete switch to another brand of paint, as for me personally I really do like Citadel paints, and you know, Scale 75, I love their metallics. They're my favorite range of metallics that I've used so far. Vallejo Model Color and Game Color, I have quite a few of their paints as well, but I would say 90% of my paints are Citadel, and the others are all just nice little features that I add in every now and then. So anyway, with all of that being said, I did get a little bit carried away there, but now moving on to the last highlight, which is going to be Grimy Grey. And again, you can really just see it's working over most of those previous details there as well. And I decided as well, I just wanted to add some moss effects, so I'm just going to be using Castle in Green and Lamy in Medium, and just sort of working this into the recesses, doing little random patches around. Try not to do too much of this, as it is just meant to be a little sort of feature detail, as though the wood has been exposed to the elements for some time. And just as a final touch, I'm going to use Lauren Forest now with Lamy in Medium, and essentially really just highlighting the Castle in Green to just add a little bit more to that moss effect. Still subtle, however, but just a little bit more of that sort of mossy sort of glow look to it. You can, of course, if you really wanted to, you could do an additional highlight using either Ogren Camo with Lamy in Medium or Moot Green. But again, you know, only use it really a really minimal amount of that. And you might find as well, as I did, at least for this particular model, that these two were enough for the moss effect. And here are some photos of the completed miniature. So I hope you found this tutorial useful today. And thank you so very much for watching. I have plenty more painting tutorials coming soon. Please leave a comment below of something that you might like to see me do in the future. And please like, share, and subscribe today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again in the next one.